Hey, everybody, welcome back to another Daily Drop. My name is Andrew Jones, and we are going to talk Carolina basketball here in the middle of July. Having some fun looking ahead at the schedule, at the non-conference schedule, and saying, I can identify maybe the toughest game, but what is the most important game for North Carolina? Is it one and the same? I think the toughest game is at Kentucky in the ACC SEC Challenge. But is that the most important game? Is it Michigan State down in Fort Myers? Is it Ohio State in Atlanta? St. Bonaventure, not a bad program. Play them down in St. Myers. Is it Georgetown at home? No, none of those. It's Kansas. November 7th, the Jayhawks return to visit. They come to Chapel Hill and play the Tar Heels in the Smith Center. It's going to be a spectacle like last year in Lawrence was. I remember a couple of fans saying they were just thrilled that Carolina's blue uniforms were in that building. That was enough for them. Whatever happened after they took the warm-ups off and gathered at center court for the opening jump. Whatever happened after that was immaterial, so one guy said. I just wanted to see this uniform in this building. Kansas's uniforms are not as iconic, but that word across here and in the font that they use is, and to see that in the Dean Dome, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm a college basketball junkie. And the idea of seeing that in the Dean Dome is very, very exciting. I'm a laundry guy in sports. Some of you probably know that. I love laundry. In really important basketball games, especially if I'm courtside, I like to look at the fronts of the jerseys right before the opening tip. I was right behind Jim Nantz and that crew for the championship game in 2022 when I was sitting on press row and just looking out there and seeing those jerseys together. Man, I'm literally getting goosebumps thinking about that. All right, so I do think this is the most important non-conference game for the Tar Heels this season, and here's why. First of all, it's Kansas. Kansas was 21-13 last year, 11-9 in the Big 12, and people think that the program is falling apart. There's a lot of what Carolina was a few years ago with the fan base there. Carolina fans have gotten a little used to having some double-digit loss seasons here in recent years. But overall, it's pretty much the same thing. They're very upset about the last 2 years, but certainly last year, some Kansas fans thought Bill Self was going to retire. He's lost it, even though he won a title 3 years ago. They've lost some guys. They've lost some really good players, but they have the big kid. I'm drawing a blank on his name, Flory Bidunga. I'm going to mispronounce it. So I don't cover Kansas. I'm going to mispronounce his name. They also have Darren Peterson. Carolina kind of flirted with him for a while. Freshman coming in. Some people think he's the number one freshman coming in. Some say number two, number three. He's going to be counted on to do a lot for the Jayhawks. They have a really nice transfer class coming in. 3 guys, but Trey White from Illinois is one of them. They also got a kid in from St. Bonaventure who's really good as well, can score. So they're going to be good. They're Kansas. They're going to be well coached. They're going to defend. They're going to prioritize the glass. They're going to have guys that know how to make shots. They will take the mid-range jumper and hit it. They will pound you inside if they can, and they will defend and all that kind of good stuff. Bill Self's an outstanding coach. Outstanding coach. So Carolina will be dealt with a big-time challenge early on. When they went to Lawrence last year, I kind of thought there wasn't a whole lot for Carolina to lose in that game because no one really expected them to go on a win. Remember how Kansas was like 1 or 2 early on and ended up struggling big time. And Carolina went in there, they were down big, down 20, and came roaring back and took the lead and then lost. Kansas kind of closed them out. This is a game I think is an absolute must win because Kansas is really good. There's a chance it's a quad 1 win. Kansas has to finish in the top 30 of the net in order for it to be a quad 1 win. But Carolina needs to get a signature win early in the year. They need to get that elephant off the back of the season. Too many of these seasons the last few years, you get into near Christmas time, you go, what do they got on the resume? You can't build your way in the ACC. It's so difficult. As Carolina found out, there's no room for error when Stanford comes to town and beats you at the buzzer. Carolina was very fortunate to get into the field last year. Probably shouldn't have gotten in. You beat a team like Kansas. What it does is it sets up in the psyche, in my opinion, and because Kansas, even if it's a little bit down this season, is still going to be really good. But it kind of gives you early juice to the season, and we haven't seen a lot of that for a while at Carolina. It will give Huber an opportunity to really learn his team early on, and he's been a slow adjuster to the season as head coach, but he's in year 5 now. He's still in the learning process. I think it speeds all that stuff up. And it gives them an opportunity to really get on the same place and have those new players play an emotional game in the Dean Dome right out of the gate. Now, I always think that that's an important part because I remember a couple of guys, Harrison Ingram said this, Brady said it. Not Brady, Harrison Ingram said it. Cormac Ryan, even though he'd played in the Dean Dome, said it. Man, when it gets going in there and starts getting loud in there, it can be very, very loud. Yes, it's got the wine and cheese moniker, but the reality is when the Dean Dome gets rolling, it's pretty damn loud. And that night, it'll be a zoo. And I think that will only help this team scoot forward a little bit quicker. Like I said, the other games, you got St. Bonaventure and Michigan State and Fort Myers. You've got Ohio State in Atlanta. You got to go to Kentucky. That's going to be huge. And they host Georgetown as well. But I think that game against Kansas, that first Friday of the season, a lot of eyes are going to be on it. This program needs to get a marquee early win. And if they win that game, and at this juncture, I project that they will, but I'll change my prediction or I'll make a formal prediction as we get much, much closer to the game. I think that's something you notch on your resume and say, boom, we got Kansas. You hang it up over here and say, that will stay there all year. Beat Kansas. Then if you can take care of, say, Bonaventure and Ohio State, and you lose one of Michigan State on neutral site or at Kentucky, then I think that that's a pretty good non-conference season because they're going to roll over everybody else. Although ECU may give them a little bit of a tussle. They're going to roll over everybody else. So Kansas game's huge. Carolina could put together a very impressive non-conference record if it can beat Kansas. I can't wait for the buzz in the building. I remember when Gonzaga came in several years ago, there was a big-time buzz. That was in, November, December of 2018? It was a huge buzz. There will be a bigger buzz for this one. A bigger buzz. There's no doubt about it. Let me know what you think. Is there another game you think is more important outside the ACC? Is it at Kentucky because Kentucky's probably going to be better than Kansas, or Michigan State because Michigan State's probably going to be better than Kansas? Or is this something that Carolina fans, they got to beat the Jersey, got to beat the Heritage. You got to beat them because Kansas beat Carolina last year. And you just need to go first week in the season, boom, Kansas is in your back pocket. I think that's what it is. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And we will continue rolling these out up to when we announce the next move. And guess what? After we announce it too. Daily drops aren't going anywhere. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.